Now, I hope all of you better. Do you know what this might be? Does anybody know what that is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's people logging on to Google around the world.
Wow, okay. I didn't really realize what it was when I first saw it, but this is what helped me see it. This is what we run at the office that actually runs real time. Here it's slightly logged, but here you can see around the world how people are using Google. And every one of those rising dots represents probably about 20, 30 searches or something like that. And they're labeled by color right now, by language. So you can see here we are in the US, and they're all coming up red. There we are in Monterey. Hopefully I can get it right. You can see that Japan is busy at night. Right there. We have Tokyo coming in Japanese. There's a lot of activity in China. There's a lot of activity in India. There's some in the Middle East, little pockets. And Europe, which is right now in the middle of the day, is going really strong with a whole wide variety of languages. Now you can also see, if I turn this around here. Hopefully I won't shake the world too much. But you can also see there are places where there's not so much. Australia, because there just aren't very many people there. And this is something that we should really work on, which is Africa, which is just a few trickles, basically in South Africa and a few other urban cities. But basically what we've noticed is these queries, which come in at thousands per second, are available everywhere there is power. And pretty much everywhere there is power, there is the internet. And even in Antarctica, well, at least this time of year, from time to time we'll see a query rising up. And if we had it plotted correctly, I think the International Space Station would have it too. Sorry. 3? Yeah, this will shift it sadly. So this is some of the challenge that we have here. Is you can see that it's actually kind of hard to get the there we go. This is how we have to move the bits around to actually get the people the answers to their questions. You can see that there's a lot of data running around. It has to go all over the world through fibers, through satellites, through all kinds of connections. And it's pretty tricky for us to maintain the latencies as low as we try to. Hopefully your experience is good. But you can see also, once again, so some places are much more wired than others. And you can see all the bandwidth across the US going up over to Asia, Europe in the other direction, and so forth. Now what I would like to do is just to show you what 1 second of this activity would look like. And if we can switch to the slides. All right, here we go. So this is slow down. This is what 1 second looks like. And this is what we spend a lot of our time doing, is just making sure that we can keep up with this kind of traffic load. Now, each one of those queries has an interesting life and tale of its own. I mean, it could be somebody's health, it could be somebody's career, something important to them. And it could potentially be something as important as tomato sauce, or in this case, ketchup. So this is a query that we had. I guess it's a popular band that was more popular in some parts of the world than others. Anyway, you can see that it got started right here in the US and Spain. It was popular at the same time, but it didn't have quite the same pickup in the US as it did in Spain. And then from Spain it went to Italy, and then Germany got excited, and maybe right now the UK is enjoying it. And I guess the US finally started to like it too. And I just want to play it for you. Anyway, you can all enjoy it for yourselves. So hopefully that search will work. As a part of, part of what we want to do to grow our company is to have more searches. And what that means is we want to have more people who are healthy and educated, more animals if they start doing searches as well. But partly we want to make the world a better place. And so one thing that we're embarking upon is the Google Foundation, and we're in the process of setting that up. We also have a program already called Google Grants that now serves over 150 different charities around the world. And these are some of the charities that are on there. And it's something I'm very excited to be a part of. In fact, many of the organizations that are here, the Acumen Fund, I think Aprotech we have running, I'm not sure if that one's up yet. And many of the people who have presented here are running through Google Grants. They run Google Ads, and we just give them the ad credit so they can let organizations know. One of the earlier results that we got, we have a Singaporean businessman who is now sponsoring a village of 25 Vietnamese girls for their education, and that was one of the earliest results. And as I said, now there have been many, many stories that have come in because we do have hundreds of charities in there, and the Google Foundation will be an even broader endeavor. Now, does anybody know who this is? Aha!
Orchid.
Yes. Somebody got it. This is Orchid. Is anybody here on Orchid? Do you have any? Oh, okay. Not very many people know that. I'll explain in a second. This is one of our engineers. We find that they work better when they're submerged and covered with leaves. That's how we turn those products out. Orchid had a vision to create a social network. I know all of you are thinking, yet another social network. But it was a dream of his, and we basically, when people really want to do something at Google, we generally let them. So this is what he built. We just released it in a test phase last month, and it's been taking off. This is our VP of engineering. You can see the red hair, and I don't know if you can see the nose ring there. And these are all of his friends. So this is how we just deployed it, and we just decided that people would send each other invitations to get into the service. And so we just had the people in our company initially send them out. And now we've grown to over 100,000 members. And they spread actually very quickly, even outside the US. You can see, even though the US is still the majority here, though, by the way, search-wise, it's only about 30% of our traffic. But it's already going to Japan and the UK and Europe and all the rest of the countries. So it's a fun little project. There are a variety of demographics. I won't bore you with these. But it's just the kind of thing that we just try out for fun and see where it goes. Well, I'll leave you in suspense. Larry, you can explain this one.
Thank you, Sergey. So one of the things, both Sergey and I went to Montessori school, and I think for some reason this has been incorporated in Google. And Sergey mentioned Orchid, which was something that Orchid wanted to do in his time. And we call this at Google, we've embodied this as the 20% time. And the idea is for 20% of your time, if you're working at Google, you can do what you think is the best thing to do. And many, many things at Google have come out of that, such as Orchid and also Google News. And I think many other things in the world also have come out of this. Mendel, who was supposed to be teaching high school students, actually discovered the laws of genetics as a hobby, basically. And so many, many useful things come out of this. And News, which I just mentioned, was started by a researcher, and he after 9/11 he got really interested in the news, and he said, why don't I look at the news better? And so he started clustering it by category, and then he started using it, and then his friends started using it, and then besides just looking cute on a baby's bottom, we made it a Google Ads, which is basically a small project at Google. So it'd be like 3 people or something like that. And they would try to make a product. And we wouldn't really be sure if it's going to work or not. And in News's case, they had a couple of people working on it for a while. And then more and more people started using it. And then we put it out on the internet. And more people started using it. And now it's a real full-blown project with more people in it. And this is how we keep our innovation running. I think usually as companies get bigger, they find it really hard to have small, innovative projects. And we had this problem too for a while, and we said, we really need a new concept. The Google Ads, that's a small project that we're not quite sure if it's going to work or not, but we hope it will, and if we do enough of them, Some of them will really work and turn out, such as news. But then we had a problem, because then we had over 100 projects. And I don't know about all of you, but I have trouble keeping 100 things in my head at once. And we found that if we just wrote all of them down and ordered them, and these are kind of made up, don't really pay attention to them. For example, the Buy Iceland was from a media article. We would never do such a crazy thing, but thank you.